The first thing I heard was her laugh, soft, breathy, the kind she only used when she wanted someone to feel chosen. But it wasn't meant for me. The sound drifted through the cracked bedroom door like a blade, slicing clean through the midnight silence of our home. I froze, one hand still on the light switch, pulse thundering in my throat. At first, I thought it was a video, a show, something harmless, something that could be explained. Then I heard a man's voice. Low, close, intimate in a way that made my stomach flip as if gravity had suddenly tilted sideways. "Babe, you're going to wake him," he whispered. My whole chest went cold. Babe. He called my wife babe. I didn't even realize I had started trembling until my fingers slipped from the switch. The hallway remained dark, swallowing me whole. I listened harder, every fiber in my body stretched tight enough to snap. "Relax," she murmured, her voice warm, playful, a version of her I hadn't heard in months. "He's on the late shift. He won't be home until morning." My heart thudded against my ribs so loudly I thought they would hear it, because I was supposed to be on the late shift. I wasn't supposed to be home at all. It took every ounce of will not to shove open that door, but rage wasn't what held me back. It was horror, disbelief, a sick, twisting hope that maybe, just maybe, I had misheard, misunderstood, gotten something terribly, absurdly wrong. But the next sound killed that hope instantly. A moan. Hers. A sound I knew better than my own name. Something inside me collapsed so completely that for a moment I forgot how to breathe. My hand reached for the wall because my legs threatened to buckle. I don't know how long I stood there. Seconds, minutes, some stretched, distorted shape of time, before I finally forced myself to move. Not toward the door. Not toward them. Toward the living room, where my phone lay on the couch. My fingers were stiff, barely responsive, as I unlocked the screen. My reflection flashed briefly on the black surface. Wide eyes, clenched jaw, face drained of color. I didn't recognize the man staring back. He looked like someone who had just been hollowed out. A notification popped up. "Mark, bro, is everything good? I thought you were working tonight." The timing hit me like a punch. Mark, my coworker, was the one who covered for me tonight when I went home early after feeling sick. I swallowed hard, my throat tight. I typed with shaking hands. Me, not good, not at all. Before I could second-guess myself, before shock could turn into denial, I hit record on my camera. I didn't know what I was doing, just that I needed proof. Something solid, something real, something undeniable, because I already felt my mind trying to shield me, to soften it, to pretend it wasn't happening. The hallway stretched ahead like the entrance to a nightmare. My steps were quiet, each one amplified by adrenaline humming under my skin. When I reached the bedroom door, I didn't push it open fully, just enough for the camera to slip in. The image that filled the screen felt like a physical blow. My wife, Emily, straddling a man I had never seen before, her hair falling in a dark curtain around her face as she kissed him deeply. The sheets beneath them were bunched, the soft glow of the lamp painting everything in warm, intimate light, the kind we use to fall asleep in after long talks about our future, our plans, our promises. Promises that now tasted like ash. My vision blurred, not from tears but from something hotter, sharper, betrayal rushing through me like poison. The man's hand slid down her back. She gasped. I jerked the camera back instinctively, slamming the door shut without meaning to. The noise echoed down the hallway like a gunshot. Instantly, the room went silent. "James," her voice called from inside, startled, shaken. My name on her lips felt wrong now. Like a lie. The door swung open violently. She appeared in the frame of the light, a sheet clutched around her body, eyes wide, face pale. Behind her, the man scrambled to grab his clothes. What are you doing home?" she stammered. I lifted the phone slowly, hand unsteady but determined. Her eyes followed it. And when she saw the screen, saw herself on it mid-betrayal, her face crumpled in horror. "James, wait! Please, just don't," I said, my voice raw, barely recognizable. The man stepped forward, still shirtless. "Look, man, this isn't what it—" I snapped. "Say another word, I growled, "and I swear I'll break your jaw." He shut up instantly. Emily was crying now, reaching toward me with trembling fingers. "Baby, listen, please. I can explain. Just give me a second." Explain. Explain what? Explain why she hadn't touched me in months? Explain why her smile had dimmed whenever I walked into the room? Explain why she suddenly worked late so often? Explain why the woman I married had slowly started treating me like an afterthought, a chore, a burden? Explain how she climbed into another man's arms while I stood in our hallway, trying to remember how to inhale without breaking? Rage surged, but beneath it, deeper, sharper, was grief, a bone-deep sorrow that made my chest ache. I didn't throw the phone. I didn't scream. I didn't hit anyone. I just said, "Get out." She blinked. "What?" "Both of you. Get out." The man didn't hesitate. He grabbed his jeans and bolted, muttering something under his breath as he brushed past me. Emily stayed rooted in place, tears streaking down her cheeks, she trembling around her like she was holding herself together with the last threads of dignity. "James, please don't do this. Don't just throw our marriage away. Not like this." I let out a cracked, humorless laugh. "I'm not the one who threw it away." That was the last thing I said before I stepped outside, barefoot, shirt still unbuttoned from when I got home, because the walls were collapsing around me and I couldn't breathe inside the house anymore. The cold night air hit me like a slap, and somewhere between the porch step and the driveway, something inside me hardened. I opened my phone. I looked at the video. I stared at her betrayal framed in pixels, undeniable, unforgivable. Then, hands trembling but steady enough, I posted it. Not out of anger, not out of revenge, out of devastation, out of a need for the world to witness what she had done, for the lies to vanish under the weight of truth. I didn't expect it to explode, but within minutes, it did. And nothing, not my marriage, not my reputation, not my sanity, would ever be the same again. The video spread like wildfire. By morning, it had been reposted thousands of times across every platform I could think of, and plenty I had never heard of. My notifications were a chaotic storm of sympathy, outrage, mockery, disgust, and morbid curiosity. Strangers dissected every second of the clip like forensic analysts. Some called me brave. Some called me vengeful. Some said I shouldn't have aired private pain in public. But none of them understood. None of them had been in that hallway. Around 8 a.m., my phone started ringing nonstop. I ignored every call. Friends, co-workers, unknown numbers. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want comfort. I didn't want advice. I wanted silence. But silence was impossible when the entire internet was screaming for my attention. At 9:12 a.m., Mark showed up at my door. I hadn't slept, hadn't eaten. I was still sitting on the edge of the couch, elbows on knees, watching the video replay over and over like some self-inflicted torture I couldn't turn off. Mark knocked softly. "James? Man, open up." I hesitated, then unlocked the door. He stepped in and took one look at me. "Jesus, you look like you've been hit by a truck." "I feel like it," I muttered. He sat beside me, not saying anything at first. Mark had always been good at silence, knowing when words would help and when they'd only make things worse. Finally, he exhaled. "It's everywhere, dude." "I know. You want me to take it down from any site we can." I shook my head. "No." He studied me, brow furrowed. "You sure? People are tearing her apart. And you too, honestly." "I didn't post it for them," I said quietly. "I posted it because if I didn't show the truth, I would have talked myself out of believing it. She would have talked me out of believing it." The confession left my lips like a wound opening, raw, vulnerable, ugly. I sank back into the couch and let out a shaky breath. I needed proof for myself. Mark nodded slowly, something softening in his eyes. "Okay, I get that." But I could tell he still wanted me to take it down. Too late. The internet had already claimed it. By noon, the clip had reached millions. By afternoon, reporters were DMing me asking for interviews. Talk shows wanted the betrayed husband, and strangers kept tagging me in posts analyzing the expressions on my face during the recording. Some people praised me for exposing the truth. Others accused me of humiliating her. Both sides were wrong. I wasn't a hero. I wasn't a monster. I was just a man who had his world ripped in half. Emily texted me endlessly. I didn't read them at first, but eventually curiosity won. Her messages came in frantic bursts. James, please, I'm begging you, take it down. This is destroying my life. I made a mistake, please come home. Can we talk? Just talk? You're punishing me in front of the entire planet. I still love you. I'm so sorry. Each message tightened something inside me that was already too tight to breathe. I didn't answer. Not because I hated her. Because I didn't know what I felt anymore. Hatred, love, grief, fury, nostalgia. A hollow ache that couldn't decide if it wanted her back or wanted her gone forever. None of it made sense. Around 4 p.m., she showed up at the house. I heard her before I saw her, sobbing, knocking, pleading through the door. I stayed still, watching the grainy shadow of a silhouette trembling behind the frosted glass. James, she cried, voice cracking. Please open the door. Please. I can't breathe. I can't do this without you. We can fix this. I promise. I promise I'll do whatever you want. Just talk to me. I closed my eyes. Her voice still had power over me. Even broken, even desperate. It tugged at the memories I wasn't ready to face. Our wedding day, our trips, our fights followed by long embraces that felt like forgiveness, the way she used to say my name when she was happy. But those memories felt like they belonged to strangers now. I finally opened the door. She looked wrecked. Eyes swollen, hair unbrushed, hand shaking so violently she could barely hold onto the doorframe. James, she reached for me. I stepped back, and she froze mid-reach, as if I'd just slapped her. What do you want? I asked quietly. She sucked in a breath, chest trembling. I want you. I want us. I want my husband back. A tear slid down her cheek. She didn't wipe it. I screwed up. I know I did. I was lonely. You were always working. I felt invisible, and he was there. It wasn't love. It wasn't anything. It was a stupid, selfish escape because I was hurt and angry and... You could have talked to me, I whispered. I know, she sobbed. God, I know. But I was scared and ashamed. And the longer it went on, the more impossible it felt to admit it. I kept telling myself I'd stop. I kept telling myself you'd never find out. My throat tightened painfully. She looked at me with a trembling, hopeful, broken expression. I still love you. That part's real. That part's always been real. The worst thing? Some part of me believed her. But belief wasn't enough. I can't trust you, I said. And I don't know if I ever will again. She flinched as if the words had physically struck her. James, please. I exhaled slowly. The video stays up. Her eyes widened in horror. No, please, it's ruining my life. It ruined mine first. She went silent, completely silent. Her shoulders sagged, and she covered her face, crying so hard her knees buckled. She collapsed onto the porch steps. I didn't help her. I couldn't. Not anymore. After a long moment, between sobs, she whispered, I deserve this, don't I? I didn't answer, because the truth was complicated. Did she deserve consequences? Yes. Did she deserve public humiliation? I didn't know. Did I deserve what she did to me? No. Did two wrongs make anything right? Absolutely not. But life wasn't a moral equation. It was a wreckage we were both standing in, bleeding. When she finally stood, wiping her face with trembling hands, she looked defeated. Not just scared or ashamed, but hollow in a way that mirrored my own emptiness. I'll go, she whispered. But if you ever want to talk, I'll be waiting. She walked away. I didn't call after her. When the door closed behind me, the silence felt heavier than any shout. That night, alone in the dim glow from the window, I finally watched the video one last time. Not to punish myself, not to relive the moment, but to understand something I hadn't noticed before. It wasn't the cheating. It wasn't the intimacy. It wasn't the betrayal. It was the expression on my face. The heartbreak. The disbelief. The moment a man realized the life he thought he had was just a story he'd been telling himself. I stared at the screen, my jaw tight, my chest aching. Then, I deleted the original post. Not because she asked, not because I forgave her, but because the world didn't deserve to see the most painful moment of my life on repeat. Because if healing was ever going to happen, whether alone or someday with her, it wouldn't begin with strangers' opinions. It would begin with silence, with truth, with time. My phone buzzed. A new message. Emily, thank you. Even if you never want me again, thank you. I didn't respond. I set the phone face down, leaned back, and finally, let myself breathe. The marriage wasn't saved. The pain wasn't gone. The trust was shattered. But somewhere deep beneath the ruins, something unexpected flickered. A sense of control. A sense of clarity. A sense that maybe rock bottom wasn't the end, but the beginning